All right, welcome everyone with Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Orb on the Movements of the Earth, episode 16. Botany's Book Club. You know it, you love it, here we are. You know, it takes place in a dark and lonely place because that's Botany's style.
I mean, he found love in a hopeless place, you know.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
As far as extra over-the-top ways to be like, all right, they are never going to see this coming.
No.
Yeah, I mean... But that's what happens when it's based on truth and you're staking your life on it.
Right.
Like when you know you're gonna die, you get weird because you gotta.
Yeah.
And how could the church possibly predict something like that?
Nobody
No one
could
could.
have planned for this.
No one could.
Botany was a special sort.
Yep.
Thought ahead, far ahead.
Oh yeah.
And the idea that he knew that Grabowski would actually have just enough respect for him to potentially not turn all this in.
Right.
It's incredible.
Yep.
Incredible.
Love it.
Yeah, bear with me for this episode, y'all. I've got a little bit of a sore throat. So we'll be trying to basically just keep my voice down in general. But, oh my God.
On the other side of things,
Yolenta got away.
got away.
Yeah.
But a particular not so enthusiastic anymore Inquisitor Novak, he don't know that.
He does not know that.
He thinks she got burned into a crispy toast.
Yep.
You know, when... Don't you just hate it when your boss suddenly decides to burn your daughter at the stake? You know, like... People don't quit jobs, moments, they quit managers.
Yeah, you have that moment where God ordained that your managers should, burn your daughter, you know? Like, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Less than 500 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yay!
At least people claimed that, less than 500 years ago. Crazy. But yeah, are we going to follow... Yolenta? Are we going to follow Novak, kind of dealing with the aftermath of all this? Are we going to follow Grabowski? There's so many people.
I think
that now have all their little things as this spirals out all of after Rafal's defiance. Like that's how all this started. Yeah.
Yep. There's a part of me that doesn't want it to follow Yolenta because I'm like, then I know that she's okay. She's...
Well, we eventually
at least for now.
Have to
eventually.
That she's okay.
Right. But, like, for now,
That's true.
She's gone.
She's
safe. Yep.
But, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. 25 years.
Oh, my God.
What?
Novak's going to be an old man. I mean, he already was, but he's going to be a really old man. Like the helmets? They're really taking this Inquisitor thing a lot more seriously. Oh, is this the other guy from the OP? With the black hair?
So, yeah.
My Dark Souls heart is very happy right now.
Schmidt. Organization.
Okay.
Wow. Whoa. The times are crying for change too.
I hate everyone equally.
Yes. Nice.
Okay. Oh yes, you can do with me what you will. Damn!
It was never in my hands to begin with.
Yeah. Holy shit. damn.
Okay, here we go. This is Schmidt. Getting updates to the opening, yeah.
Yeah. I very much approve of the amount of helmets we've already seen in this episode.
Whoa.
Damn. Yeah, so many new characters. Oh, shit. All right. That mustache. Oh.
Yep.
Wow. I love it.
Wait, the bags that they dropped there, are those like explosives and they're gonna blow them up? Oh my god, yes!
I love
They're
it.
gonna blow it up! Yep, yep, yep!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep! They get behind their own
The shields aren't for defending us from you. I love
need to
it.
gather all the people into the room.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's danger!
Oh, no.
This is our mustached man. Oh. Damn. Wow.
All right.
Yes. He's got the mustache. Oh my god.
Oh, my God. This dude. Of course. Yeah, if you have someone that's talking that much, he would have a mustache like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah. Burn it.
No, like spit
on
on it or... Whoa.
Oh.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to cast that aside, yeah.
And that'll be a great way to root out the like
fakes,
any plants. Yeah.
It's about what you're willing to hold on to in a devout way. Like, they agree with you, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Ooh, that's a... There's a story built in there. Yeah, the misunderstanding thing. Yep, you won't be joining.
I like it though. It's the, yep, if that's your decision, I totally respect it because that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dang, he knows their names.
Yeah. To the leader. Is the leader Yolenta?
Ah, the one person that would know their names, too. Yeah.
I love how different the show feels after a 25-year time skip.
Oh, we're going back.
Oh, okay. All right.
We are going back.
Gotcha.
This is a young Schmidt and his mom.
I think so.
Misunderstood.
Yeah, nice.
Oh. Oh no. Yep. Like the turning of the cycle of the years, yeah. Yeah, but how does the nobility? Yeah.
Ooh, sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go off. Go off. Yeah, by association, yeah. Shit.
Just like that. Run, brother. His shallowness.
Oh, the music.
He wasn't disagreeing with that. You gotta run. Or at least tell your kid to run. No way.
What a badass mom!
Keep running.
Wow.
All right.
What a story. Cool, they use him as bait to basically bring out whoever is here. Clever. Yep. They gotta be quiet. Damn. We were talking loud, yeah. No, let's see, we wait a little bit. Yeah. I love it.
All right.
By wearing these clothes, they get to kind of walk around with the same kind of impunity that the Inquisitors do. Whoa. Is that Novak?
I think so.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, the hair. Yeah.
Holy shit.
All right. New era.
Okay,
All
that
right.
was a wonderful
25
reintroduction.
years.
25 years. That's such a ballsy move. I love it because now it's like, yeah, and the way that not just the characters change, because of course the characters will change, but that the world changes as a result of that, right? Because 25 years is a long time, right? And this is a pivotal like moment in history and everything. So, yeah.
So Grabowski probably did actually do his part to get the book distributed, or at the very least copied down from the person's head.
Right.
That then either ended up getting distributed or passed around, or that's now the book that they're actually
just found. Yep.
But the idea that they know Oxy and Bodney's names means that it's most likely Yolenta that's the leader, or at the very least, the leader is in talks with Yolenta.
Right.
Either way, that's the continuation point from the previous arc, and we have now the story basically showing a group of people who are actively in an organized rebellion against not just the church, but specifically against aspects of the church's like orthodoxical like structure.
Right.
Because even this guy, Schmidt, is extreme for his group.
Right.
And I liked that distinction being made because then our introduction to him can be that much more intense when he confronts the belief structure of the clergy here.
Yeah. And I like that it's something where like because of his different belief structure, we're able to get a really good introduction to it. This also even feels like a follow-up on what we had in the previous episode with the one young inquisitor who like let Yolenta go,
Sure.
being like, hey, like he started to basically like, you know, refute what they were saying with scripture, and the dude's just sort of like, context, you know, right, and basically dismisses it and then burns him.
Yeah,
and so
because then they use in this episode the uncle who attacks.
Right.
And the backstory basically ends up using a scripture that then the church
Has
took
been
out of context.
using it to basically like
Using it basically
leverage
to
people
say,
for control.
This is why you should give us all your money.
Right.
Which is, it's gross.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
And the whole idea of like, because, and this is one of the things that I love about it, and why I think that Schmidt is a very helpful protagonist to have here in this point in the story, is because the things that the uncle said were totally right. Like they were great points to bring up. Don't kill your brother, you know,
Because
like,
he doesn't understand where you're coming from. Because
Exactly.
of misunderstanding.
Right. Like
Yeah.
that's something that like that is in a lot of ways why the church has been able to, like, you're doing the exact same thing that the church does, right? Of you think differently, therefore we'll kill you, and because we've got the big stick and all that stuff, that's
We're
how
justified.
we're justified, but that's also how we've been able to stay in power. Like they bring up the nobility and that whole thing, and then they're like, but wait, what about the clergy? I get I get why the nobles do things, but the clergy say differently. And like, yeah, that's how they, you know, withstand the rise and fall of nations and things like that, because
Yeah, because it's down all the way into the belief of the individuals here.
Right.
And because the uncle can't see past the belief that this guy has. And thus goes, anyone who will hold tightly to that belief, despite being presented with the opposite stuff here,
Must
is
die.
then my enemy.
Right.
And in some ways, I got also a little bit of another thing kind of reading between the lines there, is that he basically just said also, but the church will sometimes buy poor children. I think what he was basically saying in the most simple sense is that I'm going to explain to you why I'm about to kill both of you and take your boy and go sell him just so that I can eat, you know, another week, another month. And then basically it was just that simple. And he was just like, hey, if you'll like, you know, at the very least understand in that respect, I'll go grab somebody else's kid.
Gotcha.
But
I thought it was something where he was basically saying, hey, you understand the things that I'm saying, and yes, the thing that you said of if this continues, we'll all be branded heretics. Exactly. And so I don't want anyone else I don't want anyone escaping, you know, that could then cause the church to...
But again, that's different from saying like, I'm going to turn all of you in. He wasn't saying that.
Right.
And I don't even think that was even being remotely hinted at. I think he was mostly just like, hey, I'm scared for my family. I don't want to be involved with all of this. So I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, I get that. But like, you see where we're coming from, right?
Like what we're doing makes sense.
Like I need to do this because the state that I've been in for like my whole life is one that is not one that I deserve just because of, you know, the things God wants of me.
Right.
So therefore I will fight against that. And if he was truly trying to like, you know, have them join in his cause or what have you, the initial resistance towards it, he would kind of entreat that as like, see, there's your programming. There's what you've been instilled in, what your father's father's father has basically passed on.
Yeah, we were taught the same
so
things,
help break out of this here. In some ways, it's the same kind of thing that Schmidt did, in that he didn't ever threaten violence upon the Inquisitor. He knew that they already had their way that they would get out of this.
Right.
But he took no joy in the death, basically, of this Inquisitor.
Even when the dude dies and he's grabbing onto his foot, he is, to a comical degree, respectful of the guy and saying, excuse me, right? Like, you know, it's the yes, you guys are going to try to kill us. I understand why you're doing that. We're not going to let that happen.
But
and so that means we're going to have to kill you.
Before that.
Exactly. And in
he
the
is
same
stalling
way,
for his guys to come in. And stuff.
Absolutely. And in the similar kind of way, and we see maybe the origins of it in that you know point where his uncle killed his dad right in front of him and then started it ended up killing his mom while he ran, right?
He might have died too, because she got him like straight in the liver.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's probably gonna have sepsis and die from that.
Right, or at the very least, not be able to effectively chase a running child.
No.
So when it's hey, we agree with your points, we're not willing to go that far, and I love that the initiation test is not even like, you must, spit on this book or burn it or anything like that, throw it on the ground. Mm-hmm. It's just, you have to say that you don't believe in it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. And that's going to be enough, because if you believe in it, then you won't do it. And hey, if that's the deal,
we're not going to kill you if you.
Yeah, we're not going to kill you.
The initiation test. We just won't share our secrets with you.
Right. It's just we can't really join you because we're doing some other things and it's pretty extreme. And,
and we also won't just share our secret base or
yeah, exactly.
who else is with us.
We wouldn't have gotten this far if we did that.
Yeah.
And there may come a time where we end up being in a situation where we have to kill each other because we see things differently. But this is not that day, and we're not going to be doing anything to make that day come.
Well, right, because I don't desire to kill people that disagree with me.
Right.
And I think that that's the thing that makes Schmidt so interesting here, is that he knew that the clergy guys, there's no chance that he could turn them, but he was still going to try.
Yeah.
So it's, infinitesimally small chance.
Right.
But,
I'm going to make my case.
Yeah, I'm going to make my case. I'm going to do my part here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's going to try and convince me that I'm wrong, and I will just sit here and let him do his thing, and then I'll talk my bit.
Yep.
But the difference is that these three people who are labeled as heretics, they've already basically broken off from the church because they don't believe in the orthodoxy side of things.
Right.
In a lot of ways, that's the part that I really wish, in some ways, Schmidt was able to see that, because that's kind of the point. Like, religions in general and the faith in something more, something that you can't prove, basically, therefore it's faith,
Yeah.
Is not fundamentally flawed. It's a thing that just shows our misunderstanding of the world, if you will.
Right.
And that we are going to eventually have to stop asking questions about everything and maybe take certain things with that little bit of, like, not certainty, but like that little bit of like,
this is good enough for now.
This is good
I'm
enough
going to
for
continue
now.
with my life. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's all well and good, but yes, the certainty, the faith side of it in something there can lead you into some very grotesque misunderstandings, yes.
Right.
But the church's stuff is so obvious in the way that they've abused power that, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he takes such an extreme stance here. I understand it, but in some ways, I bet that his side of things is that maybe he just sees the types of people that would be so incapable of throwing away everything, just being like, well, you didn't suffer like I suffered. You didn't have to throw everything away. Like he's projecting a little bit.
Well, and giving him full benefit of the doubt, right? And extrapolating a bit on what his internal conversations with himself might have been in the years that he grew up and developed this philosophy and all that stuff.
Sure.
Because he clearly thinks about this a lot, right?
Yes.
Or
he has thought about it a lot.
My perspective, of course, is going to be colored by my upbringing, which includes a basis in religion and specifically Christianity with the concept of God and all of that stuff, right?
Right. It colors every single way in which he sees things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so but I can't really control that entirely. That's going to be a thing, right? But then when it comes to seeing how religion twists people, like with the specific case of the Catholic Church, well, I don't like that, but I'm also not going to be so self-righteous as to say that me and mine will be different on an inherent level.
Okay.
That is a part of human nature where if you have a system like this, it will gravitate towards that, right? If you accept the idea that people are fallible, then if you have fallible people trying to safeguard something that is supposed to be infallible, it doesn't matter. You're not they're going to very quickly fuck it up, right?
Yeah. That's the inherent problem with religion is that even if any of them were right,
sure,
immediately you get into the people problem.
And then that's just
And then inherently, then the religion is going to spiral away from whatever it was that was actually good.
exactly. Even if it still has a lot of the good stuff in there. And so from that standpoint, I understand why he'd be like, we have to actually just get rid of all of it so that basically there's nothing substantive enough that people could latch onto to then twist to their own ends.
Right, but then again, that's just removing power structures primarily.
Right, and that's hence where the, but then we'll just go back to being animals,
Well, not even just going back to being animals. It's the kind of thing of where you just make the scale of the power structures have a cap that gets too high, and then you start paying attention to them. But
Sure.
power structures are fundamental to nature.
Yeah.
So the idea that he's I'm trying to use the right word here, that he's railing against basically the abuse of power structures is like saying, I rebel against nature.
Well, and that's where I think the contradiction / like allowance on his part of basically being like, hey, if nature causes some tragedies, what can I really do about that?
Right, and that's him basically answering my question in advance.
Now,
yeah.
humans are also a part of nature, right? So, that's like...
Yeah, that's the
we're
ego
not special
talking.
in that
Well, no,
sense.
but that is the ego talking in that regard. That then a human tragedy, brought about by
Is
our
somehow
thing, is
special
somehow
or different.
special or different. And it's like,
Right.
no, that's exactly what it is. And that's why I find people that completely throw out like all, not all faith and belief, but all belief in a hopeful sense with regards to life, people, nature, all things and structures in that regard, to be basically working on some kind of fundamental projecting internal, thing. They're basically elevating their experience to being one that dictates the way the world works.
Right. They're throwing the baby out with the bathwater because there is a lot of good stuff that, organizations and structures, will have gleaned and collected over the years because that's part of how they ended up being able to survive and exist and things like that.
Right. The reason why we have civilization right now is because we decided to form communities.
Right. It's like
If we didn't form communities, you wouldn't be able to read. You wouldn't be able to have critical, not critical thinking, but obviously
it's the we need to save the planet. Yes, absolutely. However, it is also really nice that the life expectancy and general quality of life has risen dramatically over the last 800 years, right? That's pretty great. You don't necessarily work on being responsible with, things and all that stuff, but also, you don't want to just go back to where it's like, all right, now we have no medicine, we have no heating, right. Exactly. And that's where he is extreme, and that's where it's also a fun thing to see him as a protagonist.
Yes.
Because since the church so clamps down on any dissent, right? Any contrary opinions,
right.
You cannot actually have the contrary opinions refine each other because they're not allowed to exist in the first place. And so the only thing you get are the outliers that are extreme enough to be willing to sacrifice life, limb, and everything in order to exist. And if that's the case, well, one, they'll also have to be fairly cloistered in order to keep themselves safe. So there's not going to be a whole lot of exchange of ideas.
No, and then, you better hope you don't run into anybody slightly more competent than you.
Right, exactly. And in Schmidt's case, Schmidt is a very well-meaning, well-intentioned dude. And so what we have here is pretty good. As far as what we're seeing here, but
we don't see, I would say, malice or
desire to dominate or whatever.
I would say hatred.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty awesome that in a lot of ways I think this is just a testament to the character design. That when you show somebody who's willing to throw away the old order of things. While having the most nobleman mustache to ever exist ever shows that the guy is a walking contradiction.
Yes.
Having the ability to dictate with such an educated style shows that he has benefited from civilization to be able to come to this conclusion. And while he does not literally I'm still trying to find the right verb here. The I fight against all of civilization. That is effectively what he's going up against here.
Right.
Because of how much the church has pervasively like invaded all aspects
Right.
of civilization
And
in this
you
world.
could say that because he is like an individual with a small group of people, he's not able to exact that much change. There isn't necessarily anything wrong with his philosophy because he won't actually be able to bring it to completion in like an absolute theoretical sense. And so right now, if you think about, you know, humanity as a whole, he's kind of just like
He's a revolutionary.
yeah, he's one of the defense mechanisms in the body that is like, oh wait, we think this is bad, let's attack it, you know.
Yeah, he's a white blood cell. But that's the part I really like was that the Inquisitor brought up that, oh, you're not even liked as much in your own organization. Like, they understand you're a bit extreme, too.
Right.
And that, yes, that's going to make him entertaining. It's going to make him fun.
Yep.
What I'm personally then excited for is then the conversations between someone like an older Yolenta, potentially, and him.
Sure.
I would love to see what makes them different and also why they work together.
Yeah.
Because to bring this into perspective here, I think every nation has had like every culture, every place in the world has had their person that was the upstart, the person that did things a little bit more extremely in order to enact change.
Right.
Like at almost any cost, you know?
Sure.
And so when you look back at those people, there was some kind of there was some kind of structure surrounding them that they basically played, they kind of allied with for just the sake of competency, for the sake of ability.
Right.
But it wasn't that they always saw eye to eye. It was that they understood each other as a necessary part of what they both wanted.
You can't be the crazy person screaming in the wilderness forever.
Right.
That's not gonna like.
Well, you can.
You can, but you're not.
But it depends on what your goals are, and that's the thing.
Right.
That's the thing is that Schmidt is a man of goals, and
Yes.
thus he needs to work in a larger organization, which then
goes
comes
back to
into
power
the-
structures and things, and it's that
Yeah.
contradictions. They're hilarious and fun, and I'm excited to see this dude do his thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that also we have some people on our like side of the main protagonists that are competent in battle and also have numbers. Like it's not just Oxy, you know, the one himbo dude.
Right.
That also is fun as just a change of pace because now it's like, oh, okay, they can actually have, like, it doesn't have to be the same kind of cat and mouse chase. We can actually have run-ins with the church and be like, we're more or less okay. We still don't want to fuck with if there's a group of more of them and we don't have a plan because that's stupid. And so we'll run away and get the book later. But, like, you know, we don't have to be in hiding.
Yeah. And then we saw Bishop Antony, which I believe might even have been the guy from the previous thing there. And that definitely looked like Novak as well. So I'm excited to see an older Novak in the story as well.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
This will be fun.
This is going to be really fun. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.